This is number 6 off of the trig identities review, where it says find the exact value of sine of 7 pi over 12. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. I'm going to use a sum and difference formula. But remember, this 7 pi over 12, if you were to look at the unit circle, it's what I like to call an in-betweener. It's in between one of the values on the unit circle that we know. So we could take smaller angles and add them together and try to find the exact value of the sine of 7 pi over 12. In order to do this, we're going to have to start with the sum and difference formula. So if you look at your formula sheet, make sure you're really good at being able to interpret that formula sheet and find the formulas that you need. We're going to use sine of alpha plus beta. Hopefully my alphas don't look so terrible. On the formula sheet it looks like this. Sine of alpha plus minus beta is equal to sine of alpha cosine beta. Then it has the plus minus in the same orientation as it is on the left side. Cosine alpha sine beta. So what we're going to do is we need to figure out two unit circle values that will add to give us 7 pi over 12. And I think the easiest way to do that is just to ask yourself, well, what two numbers could add together to give you 7? So to me, I think of 3 pi over 12 and 4 pi over 12. And you just have to make sure that whatever numbers you pick will reduce to something that's on the unit circle. So if we take a look here, 3 pi over 12 will reduce to pi over 4. And then 4 pi over 12 will reduce to pi over 3, both of which are angles that we know on the unit circle. So we can go ahead and use these. And how you're going to use them, remember, this first angle you're going to replace in for every alpha, and you can use different variables like a and b if you'd like, instead of the alpha and beta. And then pi over 3 you're going to replace with, or you're going to replace every beta with that. So how it's going to look is sine, and then since we added two angles together, we're going to put pi over 4, just the plus sign, pi over 3. And then on the right side, we have sine of pi over 4 times cosine of pi over 3. And then when you get to this other plus minus sign, you just have to look on the other side. And on the left side, since we used the plus and the plus is on top, we're going to use the same symbol that's on the plus on this side. So in this case, we're going to use the plus sign. Another way you can think about it is that these two plus minus signs are oriented the exact same way. So whichever symbol you use on the left side, you're going to use the exact same one on the right side. So if we go back to finishing what we have here, cosine alpha, so cosine of pi over 4, and then times sine of pi over 3. Alright, so we have everything plugged in. Our next step is going to be to actually replace each one of these 4 values with their corresponding values on the unit circle. So you're going to replace each, so sine of pi over 4, you can either, if you know the unit circle by heart, which I would suggest maybe copying down the first quadrant of the unit circle maybe on your test and filling in those unit circle values. Remember, you can type this into your calculator. So you would type sine of pi over 4 in your calculator as long as you're in radians. And if you typed it into your calculator, you get approximately 0.707, which is the square root of 2 over 2. Cosine of pi over 3. Cosine of pi over 3, you can type that into your calculator, or if you just know off the top of your head that it's 1/2. Cosine of pi over 4 is the square root of 2 over 2. And then sine at pi over 3 is the square root of 3 over 2. So really all you have left to do now is combine or multiply each pair of fractions together and then combine like terms. So if we do that, the first set of fractions multiply to give you the square root of 2. That's a 2. Can't you tell? Okay. So the square root of 2 over 4 plus, in the second set of fractions, you're going to multiply the 2 and the 3 together to give you radical 6, all divided by 4. So your final answer is the square root of 2 plus the square root of 6. Do not combine those to give you the square root of 8. They are not the same thing. All divided by 4. So there's your final answer. Don't forget you can double check these in your calculator. It's a really easy check and it shouldn't take much time at all. If you want to double check this, what you want to do is type sine of 7 pi over 12 into your calculator, hit enter, you'll get a decimal approximation. Just make sure you're in radian mode because that angle is given to you in radians. And then also type this final answer into your calculator, and as long as the decimals match for both of these, you'll know that you got your right answer. Now this final answer could also be written as the square root of 6 plus the square root of 2 all divided by 4. It really doesn't matter. It kind of depends on which order you chose to write the pi over 4 and the pi over 3 in, or if you chose two other fractions. But they're all equivalent at the end no matter what. So, okay.